Hello and welcome to another one of my book reviews on my new YouTube channel, My Summer Reading List, The Summer Reading List. I should probably decide which one of those it should be. But okay, I think you get the drift by now, right? So, been a little while since I posted something because I went on my road trip, which was great, and I had a good time, and I saw some nice chums and all the rest of it kind of thing. But that is relevant to what I'm about to say in this one, because this isn't going to be one of the easiest videos I've ever done, personally and emotionally. Though that might seem strange because it's basically about a diet book. Now you might wonder why one would choose to do a diet book. It's not one of my historical fiction books or one of my science fiction books or one of my non-fiction general science books or a children's book and the other things I've done so far. But we all read diet books, don't we? We read cookbooks, we read diet books. We don't read them sequentially cover to cover. Some people do, but and I also want to respect privacy here. But a dear friend of mine has recently had a very bad diabetes-related health crisis, and don't want to say anything more than that. And that has kind of totally freaked me, to be honest with you. Because he's this person is a little tiny bit younger than me, but not much. But he's been a contemporary of mine, and I've known him since 1990. So it's really struck me because he's a peer. He's one of my tribe. He's one of me. He's one of us. One of my family. He's not direct family, but I mean, to all intents and purposes, he is, because he's found family, isn't it? And this has really shocked me. And this guy wasn't fat. He's way less fat than me. He did some exercise, maybe didn't do enough. He liked to drink, don't we all? As my recent bibulous liver busting tour of the UK and Malaga has shown, so do I. But it's really put the wind up me, to be honest with you. And I'm very concerned about him. I'm very concerned about his welfare and the adjustments he's got to make in his life. And but 5 minutes reading about these things, because you wouldn't have read it unless you had to. It turns out this is all horribly common, right? I suppose is the word. Diabetes related. Major health complications leading to surgery. I don't want to say any more than that. So, on the advice of my very practical, sensible, nice local chum here, Liz, when I was in England, I bought this. So this is Dr. Michael Mosley's The 8-Week Blood Sugar Diet. How to prevent reverse type 2 diabetes and stay off medication. Lose weight fast and reprogram your body. Right, well, so this is my, I know Michael Mosley. I don't know him personally. I listen to the radio for one thing, do one thing. I think they're great. And every morning I still do the teaspoonful of olive oil, because another friend of mine said you absolutely have to do that, which is kind of cool. But so okay. I was last at a weight I was happy with was 2014. And that was a year that I did Weight Watchers, which as a bloke I found incredibly easy to do, very simple, very straightforward. I love the kind of winning some points back from doing a bit of exercise. I think they dropped that. And in fact, when I went back to it and tried it again a couple of years later, they'd messed about with it too much and it was too complicated. But the whole kind of points program thing, I loved that. I thought it was very simple and I did really well. And at that time I was using my local university library as my kind of office, and that was great. So I kind of got out every day. I went to work. I wrote stuff and I did calls in the building, and was really good. But I really pushed myself to start going to the university gym, which was a really excellent gym, lots of great equipment. I mean, I didn't really talk to anybody. I did classes now and again. It was kind of fun, but mostly I just went there to kind of, pound away and do all the stuff, right? So, but I was doing really, really well, and I was not near my target weight, but I mean, I was getting there. But some emotional stuff happened which threw me off, and I kind of never really got back on it. Right, which I'm very concerned about, unhappy about. It makes me feel bad about myself and all this kind of things. Now, I am horribly fat at the moment. I think I'm horribly fat, and I feel very unfit, and I feel like zero level fitness is how I put it. And again, that's over the 10 years since that was when I was really doing the exercise and the diet and the Weight Watchers. There have been times when I've been quite active, and I wouldn't say it's been zero activity, but I've gone into a very sedentary, very sitting, and a nice phrase I've learned in the last few weeks is sitting is the new smoking. All these kind of good things, right? So the long and the short of it is that this whole kind of my friend's health crisis, I came out here in mid-April with great intentions. This is one of them, which took me a little while to get started off, but my kind of book project, that's one of the things I wanted to do. I haven't really started the Spanish. I have started learning bass. In fact, I bought a 3/4 bass in my trip, and that's what I'm going to be plunking away on going forward, right? So all that's good and positive, but nothing's really happened about the diet and fitness. I've been very poor at walking into the village. I've not really done much at all. When I was working in England, I did nothing. So all these things are very bad, right? So I really genuinely feel that if I don't get on top of this now, I never will, and I'll just slide, however long I've got left. I certainly don't want to have what my friends suffered. I certainly don't want to experience that. I certainly wouldn't want to put my friends through that. I certainly want to put my family through that. I certainly wouldn't want to be incapacitated. I'm just pausing because it's been really, really rainy last kind of 24 hours and very, very, very misty. And I think the hills are just clearing now and we're getting a tiny bit of sun, which is really nice. So yeah, I feel bad. This isn't I don't come out of this video particularly well. I'm lazy. I make excuses. I have things that I'm sad about, things that I think about too much, regrets. Things haven't gone the way I wanted them to go. Some of that's my fault. Some of it isn't, but it's still what happened. It's all what I got to deal with. And there are days when I'm super positive and great, and world's my oyster and start again. And a lot of times I just think I just let it get on top of me and all this kind of stuff, which is really interesting because he talks about this in the book. And I was this is a 5 out of 5. There's no question about it. I have some comments. I've got some questions, but it's clearly written. You really get the sense with Mosley that he cares about you, right? He's very good at that. He was very, very good at that. I was very, very sad about his untimely passing, obviously in the summer. That was very, very sad. But he is a guy who is very good at he's on your shoulder. He cares about you. He wants you to be comfortable with this. He kind of he's very good at kind of saying well, I'm not finding quite the right phrase just this second, but he's very good at saying, yeah, we all do that, and yeah, but that you wouldn't do that, would you? And kind of making it very conversational. But then he also packs in a lot of facts and a lot of great data and the studies and everything. Now, I've tried the Weight Watchers work for me, right? But I think they've messed with it and I wouldn't go back. I've got chums who are on Slimming World who seem quite happy with that. Right, great. I've looked at all sorts of like the what was it, the high GI one or the low GI or whatever that was, kind of thing, and every they've come and gone, and none of them are particularly stuck with. I tried the 5-2. I didn't see it. The thing that I've learned from just reading this, finishing this, is of course I completely misread the 5-2, didn't I? Because I thought the 5-2 was if you eat the 600 calories on the 2 days, you can drink loads and eat curry the rest of the time, and you can't. He said, you know, the rest of the time you've got to be on the Mediterranean diet, which I just didn't do. Okay. But Liz told me, Liz is my local chum here, that she was a friend who was staying with them, was in a terrible kind of health crisis related to my friends, and she imposed this diet on them, and they lost silly amounts of weight and reversed their diabetes and all of those amazing things. And I'm very inspired by that, and I love that, and I really want to do it. So I now have a period of time here where I've got no social plans. I might do something in November, but maybe I'll push it off. I've got a chunk of time up until Christmas, Christmas is going to be a bit weird, but that's another story. And I've got a great opportunity. There's no excuse. I can hunker down and I can do this. Now, I'm going to do my best to follow the diet, by which he means the full version is 8 weeks of 800 calories a day with exercise. He says you have to do the exercise. Liz's friend didn't do the exercise, but I will try and do the exercise. That will be a struggle because I'm so kind of, behind on that, but okay, right? My question, I buy the theory, okay? I'm happy with that. I could knock alcohol on the head for that period of time. That's not an issue, right? All of that stuff is great. I'm prepared to cook for myself. That's not the issue either. But when you actually get, my issue at the moment is when you get to the recipes, they're all a bit fancy, and I suspect they have things that aren't going to be massively easy for me to get. Or certainly kind of negotiating Lidl in a Spanish Lidl. Am I going to get harissa paste? Maybe. Am I going to get creme fraiche? Yeah, sure. If I know what I'm doing, maybe I'll get Liz to go with me to help me shop. But I don't know. Think some of these breakfasts I just wouldn't have, right? But. So I'm thinking maybe a way for me to do it is to go for the 800 calories a day, perhaps use my Fitness Pal, perhaps kind of chop and change a little bit, and maybe have one big meal a day, which is the 800 calories, and do the rest of the fasting. Now, that's just the conclusion I've come to after having absolutely bought into the science and the program, but being a little bit about the actual recipes. I've seen this before with recipes. Some of these, I'm not going to get pumpernickel bread. I'm just not. I don't live in Hampstead. Make it simple. Now, you might say, sensibly enough, well, you're not going to stick with that because it sounds quite tough and quite boring. Yes, that is a danger. That is a danger, which is why I'm doing this video, because I want to kind of make hostage to fortune to some extent. I want to kind of say, this is what I'm trying to commit to, and I'm genuinely trying to do this. I can't do it, okay. I don't feel I can do it until later in the week, because Sunday now, because the stuff I want to use them in the fridge, because otherwise it's just a waste. It's not cream cake, don't worry about that, but it's some bits and bobs. And then I'll do a proper shop with a meal plan. Liz says you've got to have a meal plan. You've got to go to the supermarket with a structured list of what you do. I really will do all that. I'll ask her advice. If she's done it locally, then she must know what the easy things to buy here and all that kind of positive stuff. And I will. I'm really going to have a go with it this time. I would really like to, and socially, it's embarrassing for me as well, because I don't know if any of the people I know me. There's a couple of people who've known me when I was in my. Last time I was really skinny. I was skinny skinny after the ending of my marriage, because I didn't eat anything for 6 weeks and I drank quite a lot. And I honestly don't know how I survived that, really, because I don't know what the calories were going into me. The calories were from the alcohol, of course, but I don't think I ate anything for days and days on end, and I became quite skinny, and that wasn't healthy. And anyway, no, and I don't want to do that again. I got quite skinny, but just last time I was skinny, Gary skinny, who I think of as myself, my real self, was probably 26, 27. And I remember meeting a guy from college who said, because I'd kind of been working for a little bit, and this would have been, you know, sort of 87, so I'd have been 26, and he said, "Oh, a bit of a, you know, affluence affecting there, Gary," because I think because I had a tiny bit of a little bit of a beer gut then, even then, and I've carried all that weight all those years, really kind of thing, and never been terribly happy about it, kind of thing. Never felt I could really. I'd try and do something about it, and it maybe for a little bit, and then I'm a man of habit, right? I'm a person of habit, and the habits sometimes are good. There have been times when I've been super into the gym and super into. You know, I'm not a great runner, probably not any kind of runner these days, but I mean, I was okay. You know, I did my bit, and all this kind of stuff, but it was never really enough. Wasn't consistent, and at my age, it's 80% kitchen, 20% gym, isn't it, sort of thing. So I know that, I know the theory, right? But it's the practice is the problem. Okay, and again, I suspect probably a little bit like the TBR pile, right? I don't think I'm the only one, am I? Right? I think a lot of us are like that. But honestly, hand on heart, right? I'm 63. My parents died early. Not from this, but from from drinking and smoking, really. You know, my grandparents have on one side were very long lived, on the other they weren't. My dad's family or his siblings all incredibly long lived. So, but then mother's side not so sure. Don't really know what that tells me in terms of my kind of prospects, as it were. But I mean, and I'm going to be, you know, absolutely as honest as possible. That I mean, I would quite like someone to want to have sex with me before I die, who found me attractive, and I don't think anyone would at the moment, really. And I say this to people, and they kind of laugh and roll their eyes, and obviously thinking you're never going to get a girlfriend again. Well, it's like, you know, well, you know, I don't want a girlfriend for the sake of having a girlfriend. I'd like a companion that I can. I'm going off into other things. I'm like someone I could watch slow horses with, right, and have some fun with, and go on holiday with, and all those amazing things, right? But okay, so that's not going to happen. I don't feel psychologically I deserve it even until I'm happier again with what I look like, what I feel like, and my health, and all of those things. So I've got all this motivation, all this good reason. It's really got to happen. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make myself do it. So I won't talk about it again for a while. But this is the way I'm going to try and do it. Okay, I've got personal recommendations by this. This seems to work. I don't care if the science has been debunked or you've got a better theory or whatever. I mean, I've got friends who swear by the keto. I don't know. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to try and do it. That is my plan. That's what I want to do. And before Christmas, I hope to get to a place where I can make some kind of positive report. We're going back to regular books now, and I've got a really good book, which is my next one, which is about military blunders that I'm enjoying a lot. And I've got a really great poetry book that I've started, which is quite unusual for me, but I'm finding it really, really, really good. So I've got some, you know, nice proper things. So if you've skipped this because you're not interested in diet books, then fine, great, no problem at all. You know, I welcome every second of interest anyone shows in this kind of thing, but ultimately I have to be doing this for myself, doesn't I? Like this diet. I'm going to try the 8-week blood sugar diet by Dr. Michael Mosley. I'm sure he's right. I'm sure the case studies are right. I've got faith in this, and whatever else, I'm going to try. Okay, so weather's getting better. Probably time to do a bit of washing and make the best of it. And see you soon. Cheers, bye, and get on with that TBRP. All right, my friends, bye.